This is the plaintiff, Lillian Wood. She says she purchased 2 air conditioners from the defendant, and the moment they were installed, it was like it was raining outside. Water poured out from the units onto her windowsill, corroding it and the surrounding bricks on the building. When she called the defendant to complain, all he did was give her the royal runaround. How dare he? She's suing the frigid guy for the $1,147.71. She's out. This is the defendant, Richard Bellavina. He says air conditioners leak water when it's hot out due to condensation, and the water's directed out of the unit by a hose. The plaintiff received the air conditioners, signed off on the installation, and then complained water was dripping onto the bricks outside her building. Bricks are made to withstand rain, snow, and ice, so he doesn't know what the woman's beef is. Bottom line, he did everything by the book, and the plaintiff's just looking to get her money back. He's accused of chilling out a customer.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff bought 2 air conditioners from the defendant, and the leaky water flooded and damaged her unit. But the defendant says it was just what air conditioners do. It's the case of chill out, lady.
Thank you, Douglas. Lillian Wood. Oh, don't you sit down. I need you. You are suing EBA Wholesale Corporation, represented here by Richard Bellavina.
Yes.
Okay. You are the general manager, and you have authority to be here from the owner?
Yes, I do.
All righty. For $1,147.71 in what you paid for 2 ACs plus warranties, and also the amount that you paid for a service call. Tell me what happened.
On June 4th, I purchased 2 Frigidaire air conditioners. On June 6th, they came and installed them. And they stopped raining water from the very beginning.
What do you mean by raining water?
When you turn them on, water was just running down the walls. Just
where? Inside of your apartment?
First, it was running outside the apartment, all the way down outside the apartment. I called them to tell them about it, that the water was running down, and they told me that, well, air conditioners leak, and that's what they do. But I said, no, this is just terrible. And then when I went upstairs, I found that the window seals I didn't know the window seals was all wet. They were wet, and all the walls inside were wet.
Do you have any proof of what you're saying?
No, with the exception that I kept calling. I started calling.
No, I know, but this is the first I've heard that there was water on the inside. Your complaint, have you ever heard that there was water on the inside?
I have not, Your Honor.
Okay, your complaint didn't state that. And so I would love to see picture. Typically, someone in your position proves this by showing me pictures or video.
Well, I didn't know that I had to do anything because I went back to the company. I went back to EBA. I called Frigidaire. I called EBA. I called them 10 or 15 times to come out and see what was wrong. And they indicated, Frigidaire said, well.
Okay, I'm going to read to you your complaint. Water poured from the air conditioner onto my windowsills and the bricks on the side of my building. Never do you say anything about water on the inside of your apartment. That's kind of important if it happened. And if you didn't mention it, you're not just saying that now,
no,
right?
The water wasn't, I didn't notice that water was inside from the beginning.
Well, you wrote this complaint at the end, not at the beginning. You filed your lawsuit at the end. According to you, in the lawsuit, there's water running down the bricks on the outside. You called them how soon after the installation?
I started calling them around a few days after the installation, after the 6th.
Installation. And then you go out and you do a repair when?
We tried getting out earlier, but because of her schedule, we could not go out until July 25th.
Who actually went out?
A company called HDS, they're an installation company. I provided a statement from them for you.
Okay, may I have that statement? Who are the gentlemen with you, moral support or witnesses?
Witnesses, Your Honor.
What are they witnesses to?
One is my general manager, one is my customer service manager who dealt directly with the consumer, and the other gentleman is an air conditioner expert to explain about how the air conditioner properly works.
Okay. according to this company, this is a company you sub the repairs to?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, they say that the installation was complete. Are they the ones who installed it?
Yes, they are.
The installation was completed in accordance to the manufacturer's. They're here to testify that they did everything right. Okay, the manufacturer's specifications, blah, blah, blah. She contacted EBA Wholesale about leaking and dripping on the exterior of the building. So we returned and attempted to satisfy the customer by redirecting the condensation via tubing. They redirected it where?
On the outside.
Where? To where? Like from here to there? Like where?
To another location, but still on the bricks. And that, when the product was installed, I have that it was signed for in good condition.
Well, she doesn't know about it. You know, what I need to determine is if there was something faulty about this installation, or if there's something faulty about these ACs. To make in September, we returned to make additional adjustments in an attempt to satisfy her. She signed for the additional work, and there was no charge for that service. The first work, there was a $120 fee for?
$125 fee.
And you paid that?
Yes, I paid that, but they came out 3 times.
Okay.
The $120 was paid the second time they came out.
Okay.
And I have the hose that I have the hose.
Do you have a picture of what you say was wrong? Let me rephrase it. Do you have any proof at all about what you say was wrong? Did you get an AC company to come and say it was installed improperly, or a picture, a video of what you're complaining about? Anything?
No, because I was calling EBA and they were coming out, and I was confident that they were going to fix it. But when they came out the third time, I have the hose here. I have the hose here that they installed the first time. This is the hose that they bought and they cut. And they cut it and they attach it to each window.
Let me see that.
And it just...
Is this what's normally used? Come on, AC man. Is this what's normally used?
Yes.
Not like copper or something else?
Copper drains are excessive in this situation. Copper drains are used in corrosive environments.
Okay.
But that usually does the trick. What you want to do is divert it away from the ledge or any obvious penetrations or obstacles that would cause it to run back in.
Okay.
Just getting it to run down and away is fine.
Okay. What happens to people walking, all those city dwellers out there who are just walking like, I hope it wasn't a bird, you know?
Well, you know what it is?
It's part of living in the city.
That's exactly it. If you look at any restaurant, pizzeria.
How much water are we talking about?
Depending on the size, a pint an hour could be up to a quart an hour on a very humid day. A lot of variables. Depends on the day, size of unit.
Her unit was where? Like what's beneath?
I'm not sure what's beneath.
Nobody who's here in front of me actually is the person who went there,
no,
right?
No. But the product is doing exactly what it needs to do. An air conditioner cools the air, cleans the air, and extracts the moisture from within the home and gets it to the outside. Is that why there's condensation? Why is there condensation?
Exactly. Humidity is removed from the air in order to make it comfortable. It has to go somewhere.
Okay, is it normal for these air conditioners to leak outside?
Yeah, man, it's normal, you know. It runs on a little water thing with like pressure. Leaks out water when it's cold.
Little water thing with pressure. Oh, I get the science of it now. What do you think? Is it normal for it to actually leak outside?
Yes, sir. I have an air conditioner at my house, and I'm pretty sure. I mean, it does the same thing. So, I mean, it's brand new as well.
Doesn't it seem a little bit like a design defect when it leaks outside?
I wouldn't know. I have no experience with that.
Okay, fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
Are those ACs working today?
Oh, no, I finally took them out. I just took them out of the windows.
Where'd you put them?
I got them in the box, hoping, I don't know. I have them in the box.
Well, I know you took them out because it's winter, or you took them out?
Well, I took them out, yes, because it's winter and the wind was coming in, and it was no use trying to cover them to keep the wind out of the house because they operated so poorly. So I just took them out and put them back into the box.
Is your complaint that they operate poorly or that they leak outside?
They leak, not that they operate poorly, that they leak, and so much water was spoiling the bricks, and the water is running down from one floor to another floor, landing on the ledge, and then sitting there and running. And inside the house too. Inside, and that's when I had to.
I just say, the problem I'm having, Ms. Wood, is that I just need proof of what you're saying. I mean, air conditioners leak. They all leak. They're taking out the condensation. That's how it works. If it's happening in a way that's inappropriate and damaging your property, that's different. The problem that I have is that the only evidence in front of me is, and I realize it's a little self-serving, but it's the only evidence in front of me, is that they've redirected it and they don't know what else to do for you. Air conditioners, extract water. All I need from you is what I need from every plaintiff who files a lawsuit. You have to prove the case. You can't just say, but I called them a bunch of times. I know you called them a bunch of times, but I have to determine if you're right or they're right. And the only way to do it is to have evidence from you, which means you show me a picture or a video of it working poorly, you at least, or better, you give me evidence from another AC company saying there's a problem with the AC or there's a problem with the way it was with something. But you can't just come in and say, according to my professional opinion, it's not done right. Or maybe you bring me something from a brick guy saying it's ruining her brick. Just anything. I'm begging you, just one tiny piece of evidence for me to turn around and order them to pay you a couple $1,000s and make them return these units. But with what you're giving me, you're tying my hands. All right, based on what's in front of me, I cannot order them to refund your money, ma'am. I'm sorry, I just can't. I would need to have the things we've discussed before, which would constitute evidence that there was some wrongdoing in either the way it was installed or in the units themselves, and I just don't see it. My verdict in this case is for the defendant.
All right, so let's see what the plaintiff has to say. If you just come in here next to me here and tell me what's your reaction to the verdict here. The judge's hands were tied because of the lack of evidence you didn't bring.
I didn't. These things are up on the second and third floor all the way up. I had no way of really getting pictures. I never knew I needed pictures or anything.
Well, how are you going to win a case without some kind of evidence other than just your word?
Well, I was writing. I called for 6 weeks, calling every other day and complaining, and I visited. I went to EBA several times.
You couldn't get a picture or a witness or something? No?
Oh, I didn't know.
All right, well, all right, sorry about that. So we head around the corner there, okay, with Officer McIntosh, and you come on in here, and that's not a very satisfied customer right there.
Not a very satisfied customer. Wish that we could help her further, but there's just this non-understanding of the way the product works.
Right. What about water on the windowsill and inside?
Never heard anything about that until moments ago.
You don't believe that part of the story?
I don't. I think it would have been mentioned much earlier in the situation. It would have given us a different way to look at it. But everything always dealt with the exterior.
Good AC guy. Yeah. Harvey?
You know, we get these cases a lot where people come into court and they say, look, I want you to look at me and I want you to understand how honest I am, and I'm going to give you my word that this is what happened. When you have a case where you need physical evidence or documents or something like that, your word doesn't cut it, almost never cuts it. Judges aren't going to say, well, God, you look like an honest person, so I'm going to rule for you. You need to back it up with some firepower, and the firepower is usually some kind of document, witness, expert, something like that. That'll do it for this case. Litigants for the next case of the way into the courtroom right now.